All right, we are live.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo,
What's up, fellas?
what's good?
We're gonna get this week going in just a few minutes. Let some people get on. Let's pull up
Get,
our.
get into this week and these next coming up weeks. We got a lot to talk about.
I mean, there's a bunch going on between big plays and big events, and we're coming down to the wire for the in-season tournament. We're gonna talk about a lot. In the next, I want to say hour and a half, we're gonna get this rolling. Our buddy June, the UFFL national director, is here with us. June, thank you for coming on.
I
We
appreciate
got
it. How's
we
the
got
season going for you guys?
well, it's going. It's been a crazy start. The first four games have mattered just a little bit more. Thanks, Ja, for popping on.
What up,
We
fellas?
got we
What's
got
up,
Justin
buddy?
as well on. We have some
What's
other guys
good?
come on as well. Before we get started, we're gonna kick off with our intro, and then we're gonna get right into it because we got a lot to go over.
Feel it coming in the air. Hear the screams from everywhere.
Welcome everyone to this episode of the Comish Podcast. As you were early on, you saw us talking. We got our UFFL national director on with us. We got Ja from 4TF. We got Justin from Caught Looking. We got Alex from Midwest Jokers on today. Before we kick off, though, we're talking about tournaments and people traveling. We got our in-season tournament coming along. Uh, our guy June over here, he's hosting a tournament in Vegas. A lot of our elite teams are going to this tournament in Vegas. It's going to be a great event. It's one of the stops for the Elite Series tour. As Chicago ourselves hosts multiple events along that tour, and heavily affiliated with them and help them out. And you got Mario over there as well. So I'm going to give it to the screen to June for the first couple minutes of the show, and then we're going to get going with the rest and talk about week in and week out.
I
Yes, sir.
appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for all the leagues out there. I feel like this past year, Nationals, we haven't really broke it down, man, would have been the hottest Nationals that we had in the 8-man division. I feel like the competition was out there. The efficiency of the referees, the timing is just I think getting into the whole Thursday, so that was brand new, and I think we adapted to everything in Nationals, and I think it's just kicking off this year. It's going to be even more spectacular next year. You know what I mean? So shout out to the UFFL making me national director. Um, it's just been
BGs.
it's just been working hard, man, from the beginning. We started back out. What's up, son? We started back out. What? I started like in 2015, and just been growing since. And super humble to be here in this stage. And I think it's just for you guys. I just want to be a great leader in the pack and hear it out. I think honestly, I can't do none of this without you guys. So from my standpoint, the reason why I'm here is because the players. You know what I mean? The players did this, and I appreciate everybody out there that supported me, basically helped me push the movement. Believed in me. It's very humbling. It's very humbling. It's like in my whole thing, I started this in the backyard, back at home in my home city, just playing some recreational in the back, and we're like, hey man, let's build a team. After we built the team, you guys already know, two daddies, several state titles, league titles. Then from there it came to like, why don't you build the league? Went from the league, why don't you do tournaments? And now we speaking to everything in existence. And at the end of the day, all that support comes from the players, coaches, everywhere. So I appreciate that, man. I think it's going to be a solid year.
Yeah, man. We appreciate everything that the U and the UFFL have put on for Chicago. It's helping us out on multiple levels. Just overall, I know that a lot of us have seen you at the fields, and I know we're definitely going to see you as well as with the youth in July. So, uh, if you don't know June, make sure you follow him on Facebook. He has a lot of the tournaments, a lot of we have the whole elite series that we have people from photographers to videographers for me as well at the live streaming team at
Yeah,
some of these events. So we have a great relationship with the UFFL and our national director. So it's great to have someone like that, especially knowing where you're going to go at a tournament, you knowing that someone's going to have your back. So, June, I appreciate that, man. Um, Thank you. Don't forget, guys, Vegas. June,
yeah,
what
man.
weekend
So
is that
listen,
again?
let's go into. I'm gonna make this quick, guys. I'm gonna break down the scenario of what we're doing this year, just to give you guys a vision. From there, we can capitalize on it. Bottom line. So, man, listen, we're opening off the season of the Elite Series in Vegas. Yes, Vegas. We actually broke the mold since I think several years ago, where we have over 16 teams from the East Coast that are traveling to Vegas. I'll be honest, super humble. Once again, it's the platform, and even you guys down there. It's just been a support, and people been coming left and right. And currently, right now, we're at 24 teams in the 8-man. We are at 5 teams in the 6-man, which we're just everybody out there. 6-man is going to be different for us. Just holler at me. You get the rule book. We basically trying to make it like 5-man contact and just bring it out and just put some more fun in it, etc. That's what we move next. So Vegas, yeah. Vegas, we split the divisions. We usually do the 8-man open and 8-man
Now,
free.
is the registration closed,
Excuse
June?
me.
Is registration closed
Currently,
already?
right now, it's going to close. So I was going to get into that. It's going to close very soon. I'm honestly not taking no deposits. I'm taking full payments because currently, right now, it's hard to depend on a team because it's short notice. It's Vegas. It's not no more. This is the farthest tournament we ever had, and trust me, it's super blessed. It's gonna happen. We threw it out there, and it's going to be a lit one. It's going to be a lit one. So for registration, I am closing it here. I was thinking about end of this week because pretty much it's like, hey, I know you're traveling. You know what I mean? So everybody else is pretty much over there, and I feel like
So you heard it first, guys. Make sure to get in your deposits, get in there, and not the deposits, pay in full, get into the tournament. I know that Empire is repping those jerseys, so shout out to them as well. They are selling those. June, I didn't mean to cut you off. I know we're coming up on our time limit. Is there any last words you want to say to
me
our guys
personally, hey man,
before?
the Elite Series, man, we're all the way from April to October. Check us out. Download the app on Elite Series on any Android, Apple. You can check out the series, and can't wait to be down there in July.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Yes, sir.
appreciate
Appreciate
that,
you,
June.
Joe.
June, you're more than welcome to stay on with us if you like. You don't have to. I know that you got the little one, but we're going to get into this week. Jeremy, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. We can. You want to start off in elite and go down, or do you want to start in rec and go up? Which way you want to do
I think we should start in rec since we got 2 rec
it? Okay.
guys right now on the screen. So let's kick it off with our rec. Well, actually 3. So we got Justin, Alex, and then Mike. And then Ja, I know you know a little bit about the rec guys, not too much, but chime in when you can. We're gonna put our comments on the screen. So if you want to get involved with us,
Well,
talk it
good.
out. Let us know. Let's see your comments. Let's get it going. Let's
Yeah,
talk about those first
let's
games of the
definitely
day.
talk about the rec here then, because the rec we talked about the last couple of weeks. There's been a lot of chirping going on with the rec and kind of up and down with some of the teams. I think last week we were coming off and we said Jokers were kind of the team to kind of beat right now coming out of it, just looking at it with Rumplepigs kind of on their heels and standing wise, along with Wild Boys right there. That's kind of the top 3 teams I thought going into this last week, right? And coming off from the scores, we're going to start off with Jokers putting a whooping on Intoxicated 32-0.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. That sounded pretty bad. Can you elaborate on that, Alex?
I know the
How
camera
was
guy.
that game for you guys? Pretty easy, huh?
Well, really, it's what every other game should have been. Like
Okay.
we just well, not militia, really Menergy. We really should have done the same thing. what we figured out is how much tempo really matters, and we our tempo has been all over the place the first few weeks. So now that we got our tempo back up and like now we're running through things the way we should have been. We were trying out another quarterback situation. It wasn't really working just because how new he was to the game and just trying to get comfortable. We just don't have the time to really get there just with the in-season tournament coming. So we had to put up points. So I mean, it was what it should have been. We knew what it was going to be, and I think you're going to see a lot more of that like coming up throughout.
Okay,
the
I'm glad you said
Okay.
something. So the end season
That's
tournament
what's up.
made you guys kind of like put some points up this week to kind of solidify that first place. Is that what you're
Yeah,
top of the
definitely,
tournament?
definitely. We were like, when you come off a 6-0 L to or a 6-0 W to Menergy, you're like, I was shocked. I was shocked that we were even like, I thought we were gonna go and not nothing against Menergy, they're a good team or whatever, but I believe
Right.
we're two different ball games. We should be like with the amount of athletes we have, there should be no reason. It's all discipline and game plan and how we're functioning as a team, and it just wasn't there. So yeah, the in-season tournament, I'm actually really glad that at first I was like, this in-season tournament is kind of weird, but I'm glad they added it because it definitely upped the competition. People are definitely playing for something, and I think that's important.
I know Giuseppe likes hearing that because this is his little like kind of idea for flag football.
Dude, I mean, I didn't know what to expect going into this season, and I've been loving the competition each game early on. It has been feeling like you're right towards the end of the season because we're coming down to those last games that matter. And man, I'm telling you, these scores
Yeah.
reflect it. And when I go back and I'm trying to look at these highlight clips and all the things, guys are making big plays, man. Like
It
it's
makes it
just
fun.
it's
Absolutely.
happening.
I gotta
Yeah.
say every division has been fun. Well, after that game, I mean, I guess Jokers, obviously you guys handled your business. Going to the next game, it was Metal Militia versus Only Hands, and it looked like Metal Militia kind of put a whooping on them too, 27-0. They kind of came out and made a statement there. Wouldn't you guys, the other guys, Justin, Mike, Alex, what do you think about that kind of win for Metal Militia? What does that say for them? Justin, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was Militia's quarterback the last few seasons. I mean, I think that's big for them. They're trying out a new quarterback. Seems like it's working well for them. Good for them. I'm happy for them. Ain't no hard feelings there. I mean, it's football. It's business. That's big for them, though.
Have you gotten any shit from the team since you've been gone?
Not really. I'm still cool with a lot of the guys. We talk. We're pretty chill. There was a little bit of banner on Facebook earlier. Whatever little love of squirrel that Alex and Frank have. Trying to bring me in it. But other than that, it's been pretty chill. The guys are pretty cool. It's football. It's family out here.
Mike, what do you think? What do you think that is a big win by Militia? You think this is a statement win for them?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. I mean, Militia's been a team in this league for a long time, so when they're firing on all cylinders, they definitely can be dangerous. So putting up 27 points isn't something that's done easily. So it's a big win. Give them that.
Yeah, no, we say new quarterback. I know Justin said new quarterback, but I mean this is a quarterback that's been in the league kind of with other teams played before. Do you think that the quarterback is kind of making that offense kind of run a little bit smoother this season? Because the defense, it seems like kind of still there. Frank's always got that defense kind of going, but putting up 27 points, I mean, it's not real easy, even in any game, like I said. But 27 points against Only Hands, that's pretty impressive.
Hey Jay, did that team, was this a doubleheader?
No, they have no doubleheaders in.
So okay.
They do have doubleheaders.
That wasn't
not
okay. I want to make sure. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so this was a different team, and Only Hands just came off of a win last week. So, I mean, it's kind of like, for me, I think Metal Militia is trying to put their name in the hat with, the Wild Boys and Jokers. And
Hey, I wouldn't count Menergy out though. They added some pieces over there, and they be out there putting work in.
John, glad you said something about Menergy because that's
they definitely they got some Florida experience, and you know what I'm saying, and they got some pieces over there. I think if they can figure it out and put egos to the side, I think they're gonna be okay down there.
Well, so this is a team that just came off the last week. They played Jokers and just lost to them 6-0.
Exactly.
And then this week they come in. The next game we're going to talk about is they beat they beat Spartans 6-0. So they come from playing probably the top dog in Rec and Jokers and losing 6-0 to beating a team in Spartans by 6-0 points. They're kind of struggling a little bit on offense, I would say, the last couple weeks. You say that they're a team that's been around, and I agree they've been a team that's been around, but they got to put some offense on the board here, especially with this 32-0, 27-0 points. It's you got to score more than a touchdown in Rec, I feel, if you're going to compete out there.
Yeah, yes and no. I say yes and no in that situation because you know how it is in elite. We can, how they get, score wise. Every point matters. You know what I mean? So I feel like your defense can go out there and stop somebody from scoring. Then shit, hats off, regardless who you playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they're definitely a team that's kind of sitting there low pack, but a team to watch for. But the next game after that, this is one of the teams that I think is a little bit of a surprise this year. An older name but newer team. Rumple Pigs 12, Bandits 6. Rumple Pig right now is undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, right, Giuseppe? So a little bit of a surprise there. Wouldn't you guys say from Rec, from a standpoint of a couple of teams? Justin, you're a new team, but you've been in the league a little bit. And Mike, you with Wild Boys, you guys have been in the league. This is a new team. Like I said, granted that name's been around for a while, but this is a new team that's come into Rec and has kind of surprised some teams.
Yeah, well, for sure. I mean, Rumple Pigs was our first game, and I'd never seen them before. I heard, who was bringing them over. They got some good coaches, some guys who've been in the league for a long time. That's a Catone team, so definitely.
It's not a Catone team.
It's not a Catone team, but
so I got corrected on this. It is not a Catone team. Do not say it because they're upset about that because that's their team.
You're right. It's their team, but it really feels like a Catone team.
No, it's not Catone. Catone's grandkids just play
on the team. You're right, but I don't know. They're a good team, man. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of skill. They're fast. They're strong. They're a good team, man. I think they're going to be a team to reckon with in Rec for a while if they don't move up.
Okay, so you're thinking that this isn't a flash in the pan type for Rumple Pigs. You think that this is something that can be sustained for them, which I'm a little surprised because that was going to be my next question. You guys is, do you think that this is sustainable? Do you think they'll stay in this kind of? Obviously they won't because they have to play Wild Boys. You have to play Jokers. You three teams have to play each other, so someone's got to lose. But is this really sustainable for a young team like Rumple Pigs? All signs are pointing yes, but we'll see going forward, and we'll see exactly what they do. But I definitely think this is my surprise team of Rec right now because I don't think anybody saw this start.
They play Militia twice. They play Militia twice, I think, once before the tournament and after. If they beat Militia twice, then I believe Bandits here. Like, if you watch that Bandits game, Bandits almost won that game. They were driving. They could have won that game. That was actually closer. And Bandits is like one of the lower teams on the board.
Right,
so
right.
I have to see because they haven't really played anybody. But I'm gonna be honest, Mambas doesn't look like that great this year. I gotta see him beat Militia twice because I truly believe Militia and us we're the top teams because Militia's offense, that quarterback is good. They got they got that quarterback and they got Shaq. They got a good looking team. So I think the Rumple Pigs got to prove it to me when they play Militia because they play Militia this week. I believe if they beat Militia this week, then I'm sold on it. Otherwise, I gotta reevaluate.
Well, that's very interesting. Like I said, I want to see them moving forward. I kind of want to see what they're doing. The next game that we're going to talk about, there's a little bit of a controversy, I would say, going in or coming out of this game. It was the Wild Boys Caught Looking game, and we have Justin from Caught Looking, and we have Mike from Wild Boys. Wild Boys came on top 13-6, and that score is a very close score, right? But I believe there was something that happened on the first play of offense for Caught Looking, right?
Oh, my God.
A play that I know Justin wants to talk about here, so we're going to say this. Mike, do you know what play he's talking about or referring to? It was an interception
Yeah,
return for a touchdown. Okay.
yeah, it was a dump pass to their lineman, and
Okay.
if you guys can actually go check the film, look bang bang where the linebacker and the lineman went for the ball at the same time. They fought. Linebacker pulled it away, Josh, and he ran it back for 6. The
Okay.
refs talked about it for quite a few minutes before they made that decision. So, I mean, it was bang bang. You guys can see it on film. You don't got to take my word for it.
Oh, absolutely. I actually have want everyone go take a look at that play, kind of, because you can't change those plays. You're not going to overturn it, but I think it's one of them for discussion wise, even for refs, for Northfield to look at and just kind of say, what do you kind of think happened on this play? How would you kind of call it? It's fun to kind of think about, because I believe the rules state I don't think you can necessarily go for a ball, right? It did kind of look bang bang. It looked like they wrestled for a little bit, but when you're wrestling for a ball, you're technically not going for flags, correct? So I thought that it was not tie goal, but the possession goes to the receiver. It's down right there. Again, it's for other people to call.
That's a pick. That's a pick six. I say that's a pick six. Just because if they both going for the ball, it, like you said, it's bang bang. If they didn't call it a pass interference, then guess what? That's a pick six.
Right. And I think that's what it calls entitled to what people see, because from like my angle, I from what I saw, and everyone can see, it looks like the ball was there. Defender was coming from the side and went for the ball. But the ball's already in his possession. At that point, once he grabs it, don't you think that's kind of possession to the receiver? It was a little bit of a battle. They were going back and forth, but you can't grab the ball in flag football.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So at that point, like I said, it's for here or there. I think it's a call for people to kind of discuss and go over, because it's a bang bang call for some. Some would say that, you're right, John. That's a going for the ball. They both were there. Whoever gets it, possession goes to whoever gets it. And then there will be some that will say it looked like his hands were already on the ball, and then the guy goes and grabs for the ball. They fight over it. So
that's what I'm saying. Like if that's the case, then call that pass interference that he called, or whatever the case is, or illegal, whatever it be called.
so without that play, and we can move on. And since we got both players from each team, I want to start with, since Mike, you guys won. How did you feel about that game? Going into it and after.
Well, going into it, we're confident, man. We know what people are saying, man. Last year we had 7 guys pretty much consistently, with 1 or 2 guys coming in, so we had a tougher year. Still won a playoff game, so I'm okay with people underestimating Wild Boys. Going into that game, we were confident. Coming out of it, we're disappointed. Actually, we had 2 red zone drives that we failed on. One was inside the 10. One was inside the 25, so almost right there in the red zone. So we should have ran the score up on that one, but we got to capitalize in the red zone. We are not once we're getting down to the 25, we're kind of we got to make some adjustments. We got to get in the end zone. Our defense is playing well. We've only allowed 12 points on the year. One of those was at the last 30 seconds the game. Otherwise, we'd only have 6. So our defense gets pressure. They play well. So we just got to crisp up a couple of things on both sides of the ball, and we're going to be rocking and rolling, which is saying a lot because we're 3-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, with a team that's been around for a little bit, you guys have, seen your share of good starts and bad starts. Where does this kind of figure out on your guys' start? Do you guys feel real good about this 3-0 start? You feel like this can definitely keep on moving forward?
Yeah, man. We had a lot of our old heads, like guys start with moving out of football. So we were in a transition year for, I'd say, at least 2 sessions. But we got some young talent from some of the guys in the team, some new faces, and they're playing their asses off. So we feel good about this season. We're going to keep rocking and rolling like we have been.
Nice. Now, Justin, on the other side of the ball, you come out of here with the loss, but you're a young team and caught looking. You're still trying to put it all together. You've been in the league for quite a while, so you know exactly how this goes. Like, you've had rough starts before, and turned it around. You've had good starts and saw the other side of it. So how do you feel, coming into this game and then coming out of this game?
Coming into the game, we were confident, but we know we weren't trying to take Wild Boys lightly. We know they've been around for a while. We know that they've a decent team. They've won their ships in the past. But we felt like we could beat them, and honestly, throughout the whole game, we still felt like we could have beat them. We had a shot. That blown call. I believe that our lineman had it and turned around, and then the guy ripped it out of his hands. I think the play should have been dead right there. That's a big game changer. 6 points right on the board. Our first offensive play of the game. That's a big game changer. That was in our heads right from the start. It slowed us down, but we still put ourselves in a position to win. Our defense came up with some big stops. We drove it down the field. We scored. We drove it down the field right at the end of the game. We had a chance to win. We just didn't come through. So, they're a good team, but we could have beat them. We're a young team, a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces, but we got some talent. We're still putting it together. But I think by the end of the season, a lot of people are going to get caught looking.
Nice. Well, like I said, you guys are two teams kind of coming from different spots. One team's been around for a while, the other team just starting. So we'll see which way you guys both kind of go from here. The last game we're going to talk about in the rec was Black Mambas Venom. Black Mambas came on top 14-12. Venom is one of those teams I think a lot of people are talking about, but not a lot of people are actually worried about. Does that make sense when I say that, guys? They're talking about Venom because they what they did first week, right? And then now they've been struggling since that first week. So it's kind of looking a little bad that they kind of used some players that they shouldn't have. They've caught a couple good opponents last couple weeks, but Black Mambas coming out 14-12. They're a team that's kind of one of the better teams, but they've struggled this year. Can we kind of say that, or can you guys agree with that in rec?
Yeah, I don't think they don't look the same to me personally. I think they're missing. I don't know. They don't even look like they're missing guys. They just don't seem like they're firing on all cylinders. I don't know why. I watch their games. They really should have beat them 20, but got one of their touchdowns called back. And Venom got a lucky touchdown. Honestly, Venom's a team that's gonna show up with a bunch of players in playoffs. They got 35 dudes on the roster right now. I don't know who's actually on their roster right now because it has to get like updated. They're another team that's gonna probably lose a bunch of games in the season and then come to playoffs. They're gonna have a bunch of new dudes playing wherever, but they could still win in and get into this in-season tournament because they have a doubleheader. So they play 10 games and still get in to the in-season. But I don't see them beating Wild Boys. But we'll get to that later, I'm sure. But
Well,
It's only their first four.
well,
so
I
it
was just gonna
doesn't
say.
matter.
So don't. Right now we're
the
looking
fourth,
at three teams.
the
Three teams that
fourth
are
one
in
doesn't
for
even
sure.
matter. Doesn't
No,
matter.
no.
It's only the
So
first
why did
four
Black
games.
Mambas only have 3?
Their fifth game doesn't matter
Black Mambas only
because
have
they
3.
asked for accommodation.
Oh, so they didn't want to play in the in-season tournament. Okay. Well, never mind then. Then it's gonna be militia in there. Okay.
Right. So it looks.
Well, if you're looking at the standings right now, you got Midwest, Wild Boys, Rumple Pigs, and Militia as your top 4 going into
Right.
week 4. Because you got to remember, in the first in-season tournament, it goes by point differential, not just record. So, if we're going to be seeing the teams we're talking about right now are the teams that we're probably going to be seeing.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they weren't gonna
No
count.
doubt.
But that's good to know.
Yeah. So at this point, really, because all you got is Black Mama's right there, and then Venom literally just has to go 2-2. But even so, to go 2-2, they have to hope Militia goes 2-2, and they need to put a lot of points up because they're only a point differential of 17, where Militia's at a 36. So they literally have to put up a shit ton of points and let up.
So
like
I'm
one.
not gonna lie. That's pretty. That's a pretty interesting playing tournament right there, or in the season tournament, because the top 3, undefeated right now. They kind of look like they're battling right there. I'm excited to see that matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, and I can't wait to see what the outcome is. Because what if we get Joker's Metal Militia
I'm
right
just
out
about
the
to say the
gate,
same thing.
1
Right?
versus
Yeah.
4? It's just, and then you got Rumple Pigs versus Wild Boys. I think right there, that's gonna be. I can't wait for those games. That's gonna kick off the day, and it's just gonna be funny to it. But let's get going on to the next level because we got a lot still get into, especially with the other
Yeah.
levels.
Well, that
So
was.
let's-
Like we are saying, we're also going over rec, which has the most teams out of all the divisions. So it's kind of get them going. A lot of talk going.
Yeah, because we still got to talk about
I'm
this
really
week's
excited. Yeah,
games.
I'm really
Not a-
excited to see which way you guys go. But let's get into the Schaumburg games, the comp scores, real quick, because there was a couple. Like I said, there's not as many teams in that division, but a lot of upsets. I would say this week. Some I did not see
Well,
coming at all. So let's start off with that first game of the day, the Death Row Warriors, and let's see. I don't know.
you know how that ended, right?
No, I don't know how to end it. How to end.
Wait.
I gotta pull this
I
up.
got to pull this up real quick.
Who got me echoing?
Who got me echoing?
It's probably John Dog.
Where is it at?
You got to tell me what happened in this game.
So go backwards.
Okay.
Work
All right.
backwards. We
All
got
right,
to come
fine.
back to
Because
that.
we'll start at another game that I did not see coming. Out of all the scores, only one game did I really see the outcome going this way. All right, and that was the next level game. But we're going to get into that later. Old Timers Senators. Old Timers comes out and beats Senators 19-0. Senators have had the last couple good weeks and have actually been trying to prove in comp that they're at one of the top teams. And then Old Times, who's been struggling coming out of the gate, turns it around and beats Senators. Very surprising. I was not expecting that. To be honest with you, when I saw that, I thought to myself, yep, this is one of those weeks that kind of is going a different way than what people expected. So starting off with that game, I wish we had some guys from comp on here to talk about that. But yeah, Old Times, are they starting to pick it up? Are they starting to turn it around? Because like I said, from last year to this year, this is two different teams. So we'll see what they do, where they come from here. Later on in the week. Next game after that is Bullies Dirty Birds. And again, Dirty Birds is one of those teams that we were talking about that was making some noise. And then they come into this week and they lay kind of a duck 6-0 to Bullies. Now, Bullies, from what we've heard from a couple of teams, are not a bad team. They're a team that's trying to put it together. But I didn't see them beating Dirty Birds 6-0. Surprise, big win for them. And maybe they're going to turn it around as well. And maybe Dirty Bird turns it around and goes the other way. Who really knows? Next game after that, only game that I'm not really surprised about. Next level, 25, Wolverine 0. I don't really think there's much to talk about there. Next level is really showing exactly what they want to do. And they've actually taken that next step, I believe, as the top dog in that division because of the next game we're about to talk to. And I hope, Giuseppe, hope you're ready for this because I kind of want to know how this ended. And that's the Warriors Death Row game, which very surprised by this. Death Row, very opposite. Death Row struggling a little bit. They were one of my top teams coming in the preseason, talking about them. And Warriors, top dogs in the division, man, I thought they were going to win this whole thing. I thought they were going to kind of pull away, and Death Row beats them 6-0. So I'm very surprised in that game. I wish we had Mark on to talk about it, but I guess Mark didn't want to take off his shirt today and talk about this one. So maybe we'll wait till he wins, and we'll bring this up next time we talk to him. Is this the score?
So it should be coming up any minute now. So this is a score towards the end of the game. This should be the play, if I'm not mistaken. No, it might be the next play.
Now who's on? Now who is who? Who's on defense? Who's on offense?
So you got Warriors. You got Warriors on offense here. It's towards the end of the game. You have Death Row backed up. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're on like the
really close to
line.
goal line, right? So it's goal line. The Warriors look like they're going to score. This doesn't look like doesn't look like this score is going to be 6-0 Death Row at this point.
Correct. So everything you're saying.
Yeah, Chach, he's struggling here. Man, why is it glitching like this? 20 seconds take 2 minutes.
So 6 minutes. That's what they're at right now. 6 minutes. Let's see if we can get this better.
Thanks, Chach. Appreciate it.
This is climate.
Dude, what is going on?
Taking the longest. McDonald's Wi-Fi. Avery, shut your ugly ass up. And I said what I said. Everyone heard me. You're right. This is taking forever. Oh my
You
god.
ain't lying, Jason.
I swear to God, if this isn't the play. Oh, there we go. And that's how they won the game.
Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Very still. So defensive struggle or offensive struggle. Defenses were stepping up on both sides. Man, I got to go back and kind of watch that game now and see what happened because very surprising. Like I said, Warriors is on this climb, man. They're really riding these hot hands, and then Death Row comes out and stops them. You know, the defense puts up a good game and stops the Warriors from scoring, which they've been doing against every team. So that kind of brings. Yeah, Manny, that was Dave Torres in there. But, I mean, that means Dave Torres is on death row. That's good for them. He's a very smart mind at defense, and that makes that defense even better. So this is going to be fun for Comp. This is going to it brings everybody closer in the standings and also just overall, I think. I really still believe Next Level has stepped up and has taken a step above everybody else. So
Yeah, I think it definitely was. What's the next game we got? So we got Next Level versus Wolverines. And we already went over that.
No, yeah, we're done. Now we're done with the lead. We went through that pretty quick because you wanted to go through that. It's not a lot of teams, so. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's very surprising,
dude. What do you guys expect? It's fucking through the internet, screen sharing.
Like I said, I think it's very that's very a very surprising week for Comp right there to see some of those scores. So it's going to be very interesting to see the schedule for next week and see who plays who. But let's go into Elite. Elite. This is kind of the top dogs. I know we talk about it every week. This is what a lot of people talk about in the Talking Shit page. This is what a lot of people want to see. A lot of teams are kind of trying to build to get here, which is great to see. And hopefully we have a lot more teams coming in Elite in the next couple of years. But we're going to start from the very first game. It was VGs versus Reapers. VGs won 22-8. Seemed like they put a nice little whooping on Reapers, and Reapers didn't have anything to really do to come back and stop what VGs was doing. Ja, I don't know if you saw that game or you watched that game, but what do you think about that game?
You know what? I didn't see the game, but I mean, that's pretty much not necessarily what I expect. I mean, as long as Alex is playing well, they should be straight because, the Reapers defense is pretty good. They actually, they're pretty good, you know what I mean? So, and they've been playing up here. They've been playing them. So, they're going to get their leg back. I feel like they're going to get their leg back, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Does VG play Reapers again this year?
I gotta double check. So I'm not too sure off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I know
I bet you they're gonna want to
game,
play that game again because I don't think they Reapers are really liking that score 22-8. It kind of seems like VGs did what they wanted to them. So I'm pretty sure Reapers would like to have that one back. But yeah, VGs are rolling right now. But then let's get into the next game. Let's talk about this since this is one of the games I thought games of the week right here. New Wave wasn't happy with my predictions. John told me himself he was a little mad.
Hold on, they do play the Reapers again.
Okay, good. See, so they'll get their lick back. Hopefully they come back, and hopefully that score is a little switched, if not closer. But yeah, let's get into this VG's New Wave game. VG's come off of a win,
which is yes, and this game, VGs are going undefeated. They're still on that national high. They're going at New Wave. A lot of kind of stuff on social media was kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't know. I was surprised, but I think we might see this matchup again in
We're
the
going to get to
in-season
that,
tournament.
Adrian. I'm glad you asked that question. But right now we're into the New Wave VG's game where Dom was feeling it. Dom and New Wave was really doing their thing against VG's. They shut that offense down. It was a very, very good game. I believe that the first touchdown was to Holloway over the middle. Dom split two defenders coming in, threw a nice, beautiful ball down the middle of the field, touchdown. And that was later. That was like kind of later on in the game. It wasn't, I don't think, right away. So that game was kind of close. I know it says 14-0, but that the score was, I think, was a later score to put them up finally at the end there. But it was a good game, back and forth. Two strong teams. Like you said, VG's coming off that high from National, still riding it undefeated. They run into a little bit of a buzzsaw for them for their offense in New Wave's defense. New Wave's defense has been stepping it up lately. They've been really playing some good ball. And they showed it again against VG's, a hot offense, and they come out with the win. So, hats off to those boys. They really came out and they really showed it against VG's. John, what you got to say about that?
Hurt in that game. Not saying that's the reason, but I mean when New Wave show up, they definitely go ball out with anybody they get on the field with. It's just a matter if they same thing as Hammer. Dog, they gonna show up. You don't know who gonna show up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So,
well, and that's like I said, that was one of the games of the week, and I thought, New Wave comes out on top, and they had a doubleheader, right? So New Wave's not done. They come out, they're playing VGs. They beat VGs 14-0. They ride a nice little wave. They look good. It's warm. It's cold outside, but they warm because it's 14-0. They won. So now they play Phantoms, right? Now let's go into Phantoms. Phantoms without Padron, struggled against Hammer. All this talk about what the hell is going to happen with that offense, right? And then you got VG's defense, who's one of the top in the leagues. Like they just busted VG's ass 14-0. They feeling good about themselves. And you would think at that point, I'm telling you this story, and you're going to say, man, damn, Phantoms got their ass kicked at this point. But no, you are wrong. New Wave lost 11-8. Phantoms comes and actually scores in I think that it wasn't last second, but it was about like a minute or some left, 2 minutes left when they finally scored or finally pulled the lead. And before that, they were kind of struggling to move the ball against New Wave. And it was kind of, you would think that New Wave was going to take it over, but New Wave also necessarily after they scored their first touchdown, they couldn't score anymore. And that's kind of how that game went until that touchdown. So Phantoms pulls out a late victory, but a very surprising victory over New Wave. Wasn't expecting it, but they pulled it out for their first victory. And like I said in the beginning, this I feel like makes the whole elite very, very close. Every team has a chance to win every single Sunday, and that's why this game, Phantoms New Wave, kind of proves it. Because nobody really thought Phantoms was going to pull this out, especially with the way they were kind of, hanging their heads. They lost a couple of pieces to that D line, which was not really talked about in the last week. And, man, they came out and they showed out. Because beating New Wave, that was a big statement for them.
that O-line showed out too. That's what that was. Dude, I like what they got going on over there. Even though they lost guys, they still building over there. It's like you said, every game close. Everybody is gonna be a dogfight every week now, regardless of who show up. Just because you don't know if he'll get spread the way it's going on. Phantoms, they still there. They still looking good too.
Is there a rumor that Dom was going to retire after that Phantoms loss? I think there was a video or something, right?
They thought they had that one in the bag.
Yeah, they did.
No.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so that was that game, man. That was a very surprising game. Phantoms comes out with a win on New Wave, but at that point, I think it really doesn't matter for New Wave and VGs because they already made the in-season tournament at this point. So hats off to New Wave. Yeah, hats off to New Wave and VGs for putting their hat into the ring. After that game was 4TF Dinos. And 4TF, we had to win this game to make sure that we were in the play-in tournament. and we came out 14-0. It was not. It doesn't look like the score 14-0. It was 6-0 for a while, back and forth. Dinos, they came out and balled. They're a team that's a very scrappy team. They're going to keep on and fighting this year. I know they got a rough start. They've run into some tough teams, but they're still going to fight. They still got some good guys over there.
Bro, people are aggressive today.
Stepping up in the league for the first year. They're like I said, they're not a team that's going to bow down to anybody, but they definitely had a rough start. So I'm thinking that they're going to get it together. I don't know when they
Are people going to keep this hate through the week 4 into the in-season tournament? Like, are they going to keep this hype? They're going to keep this energy? Because there's a lot. I think week 4 is going to be pretty interesting with these games, especially with all the talking back and forth, the social media. I think it's going to be very interesting to see if it's going to carry on through the Easter break into the in-season
100%.
tournament.
I think that's going to be it's definitely going to be something to look at. This next game, the not perfect Windy City, was a 19-13 win by Windy City in overtime.
Dude, that pass.
Wow, right? Close game. Back and forth, right? These teams were not letting each other kind of go. This was a battle. Not Perfect is another new team that's really, really trying to put it together too, but they're a team that's going to keep on fighting. They've really, really, like I said, they have an offense that can move the ball. Quarterback that's been doing it for a while. Guys on the team, receiver wise, that can one play can take it to the house. So they have playmakers over there. But Windy City is still kind of putting it together. They're still trucking around an older team that's been doing it for a while. So,
but they got some life this past week.
They had
the youth. They got a shot of youth.
They had a young quarterback out there. That was definitely doing his thing. And that's not tapped, like I said, and they got a win over this against Not Perfect. So that's really saying something for them.
Yeah, man. I definitely think it's gonna be interesting to see if they continue with that or if they utilize that with Tap. John, did you have something to say? Sorry, man. I'm trying my best to catch when you're trying to talk.
You good. Y'all pretty much covered it.
But should we get into this next week games?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about it.
Where should we start off with? Should we start off with the early games?
Yeah, let's start off with early games and go down the line. I'll let you take over and then we'll talk about it.
So I'm going to go over this week's games. So it's really big for a lot of rec teams here. We got to solidify some spots right now. As you saw, we have undefeated teams in the race. So the first 3 seeds are pretty much guaranteed right now for the in-season tournament. It's going to be a definite battle in that bottom few to see what happens with Metal Militia and Venom. So let's go into this week 1 where we got Caught Looking versus Midwest Jokers. Alex is not on anymore, but we got Justin on here. Justin, I mean, you guys are going against the right now supposed to be the number 1 seed. That could kind of flip the matchup of who potential plays who in this in-season tournament coming up after the Easter break. Where's your kind of thoughts at your team going into that game, especially with the game you just had?
I mean, the game we just had was a crazy up and down game. I still think that we could have beat them. And they're supposedly, number 2 team, I guess, right now. But I feel like we can beat Jokers too. Any team is beatable any week. We got a good team. We got a lot of talent on our team. People are going to look down on us and, doubt us. But I think we got a chance, and it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it definitely will be. What's kind of your guys' predictions going into this week's game? Real quick, Mike, let's start off with you since you kind of hope that one of these guys gonna they may take out Jokers and may give you guys that number 1 seed. Are you hoping that the Jokers will take it on? We got Alex just popped on too, but I want to hear from Mike first.
Hey, man, I don't care what seed we are. We're taking that. Everyone in the comments and on here can say what they want, but when they come out there, we're gonna be physical. We're gonna play hard, and we're gonna play wild boy football, which is tight defense and long drives.
Alex, since we got you on, you can go ahead and speak what you want to say.
I don't know what's up with my mic. Is it still messed up? Well, if it is, it is. I don't know what's up. I got an iPhone, so gotta switch back to Android. Hell no, y'all ain't beating us. No way you guys are gonna beat us. Never. Not in a million years. Any given Sunday, you will never beat us. Hell no. But good luck. But hey, it is what it is. There's no way. No way on God's green earth is Caught Looking going to beat the Jokers. It is what
Oh,
it is.
man.
But Wild Boys,
Are
Wild
we
Boys,
gonna have to clip
Wild
this
Boys. No,
afterwards?
you're never gonna have to clip it. There's no way. Like he would have to bring like a whole like a new roster. From what I see, he literally Gronky is one of his starting linemen. He came from my team, and like because he wasn't playing. So like, more power to y'all. Good luck, but there ain't no fucking way that y'all beat us. But Wild Boys could. Wild Boys, I'll give them that. They probably give us a good run, but hell no. That's all I had to say. Sorry.
he said caught looking isn't going to get you caught looking is what you're trying to say. You're saying, but Justin over here, he gonna stick, he gonna ride with his team. I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't expect anything else from him. He gonna say caught looking is gonna beat Jokers, and I gotta say, my prediction, I'm gonna go with Jokers only because they've been going with a hot hand. But if caught looking does beat the Jokers, I am going to be the first one on here next week dogging the shit out of you, Alex, because he said there's no way, no any given Sunday that's going to happen. So you got to stand behind your words, Alex. I hope you're right.
Standing on business. Watch. 28-0. Watch.
Woo!
Damn.
Woo-hoo.
Jod, do you want a prediction?
He said 28-0. So I mean,
All right. Well, there you have it from Ja. 28-0 too. So I guess Justin, you guys got something to look into, and Mike's just gonna stand by and watch you guys because he's like, whatever. We're gonna try to continue going undefeated. So, well, let's talk about the other game. We got Warriors versus the Wolverines. Um, I think that's going to be an early morning game, and if the Warriors are coming off this tough loss, I think they got some payback to get on the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Warriors have to come out and have to have a statement win here again, coming off of that loss against Death Row. Granted, it was a pick six at the end. You still got to come back. And I think this is a game that they should put some points on the board.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it can make or break their chance to get into in-season tournament. So let's talk about the next 8 a.m. game. We got Hammer versus Reapers. Hammer versus Reapers is always up in the air. I mean, from my understanding, this is Hammer's already done their in-season tournament, I believe, and so has Reapers.
Yeah, I believe. I think You know what? If Hammer comes with the quarterback they had last week, I'm going to say Reapers. If Tap is there, I'm going to go Hammer.
And then let's talk about the next game. We got Next Level versus Midwest Bullies. I think we probably got. What do you guys think? What do you think
Who's
is
it
going to win
again? I'm
that
sorry, I
one?
didn't hear that.
Next Level versus Midwest Bullies.
Next Level. I think Next Level is riding a hot hand. I would be very surprised if Bullies pull it out. Again, like I said, I was surprised that Bullies pulled it out against Senators, but I think Next Level is better than Senators. So I got Next Level in that game.
Any of you guys got predictions?
not score wise. I know Bully's gonna pull it out though.
Okay.
Next level's got that one. They're riding hot.
And then we got Metal Militias versus Rumple Pig. I think that's going to be definitely one of the big games over there in Rec. I think Rec got a lot of good games this week. And that's going to be interesting because that could be Metal Militia's deal breaker or not getting into the
And
tournament.
they played Rumble Pigs already, haven't they?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure they did. I thought Rumble Pigs beat them. Am I wrong?
No, they didn't play Metal Militia yet. They beat
Okay.
they beat Mambas 8-0.
So this is going to be
Band,
a good game. You know what? After seeing that 27-0 old hands, I really believe that Militia's putting it together. So I'm going to go Militia. I think they give Rumple Pigs their first loss this week. I believe that quarterback for Militia is just a better team, and all in all, they have. apologize. All in all, I think that they're just going to be a better team. I think Rubber Pig gets their first loss.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what ends up being on that. And we talk about the next one finally. We got VGs versus Phantoms. I think that's going to be a good game to see as well. I wonder if the VGs is going to bounce back and what Phantom team is going to finish out. That's the best way to
Yeah,
put it.
this is going to be a good matchup. This is two strong teams. Like I said, VG's coming off of that Nationals. They did lose to New Wave, but let's see if they bounce back here. Phantoms coming off a big win here. I kind of want to see where they go after that win too. I'm going to take VGs. I think that spread is going to give problems. I understand that they went against the spread against New Wave, right? I just think that spread over there, VGs runs it a little bit differently. I think that they're going to give Phantoms problems. I'm going to go VGs.
And then let's talk about Dirty Birds OT. Old Times, I think Dirty Birds may come out on top there. Old Times have not been firing at all cylinders from what I've been seeing.
So who you say going? Who you say?
I think Dirty Birds might
But
have that one.
Dirty Birds just lost to Bullies. See what I'm saying? Kind of weird, right?
You never know. I don't know what to tell you. You never know.
I'll go with it.
But let's talk. Let's talk about Intoxicated versus A-Town Spartans. Following that, I think that's a toss-up game. I don't know. Mike, do you have any input on that game?
Yeah, I think it. I agree with the toss-up. That their quarterback Intoxicated is pretty athletic, though. He can make some plays on his feet, and he makes some people miss flags. So if he can make some plays, I think that could go towards Intoxicated's way.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Big Mike there because I don't really know about either of those teams. I know they're both kind of struggling right now, so I'll go with his prediction. I'm okay with that.
And then we got Phantoms versus 4TF.
Good game.
I think we know what team Jeremy's picking and Ja, so.
Yeah, what you was talking about? Phones up. You see it.
Boys up. Yo, Becco, I swear. Like I said, I think this is a game. This is a game for us that we are. I wouldn't say definitely looking forward to because every game we're looking forward to, every week we're looking forward to, but I know it's a couple people on our team and vice versa are kind of looking for this team or this game to kind of, either make a statement or to kind of just put things in the past to say. So yeah, I really do feel like our defense has been very, very stellar. Damn near, in my eyes, the best defense in the league. So we're going to see how that goes. We're going to see what we do. Offense has got to put points up. Phantoms is still a good defense, even after losing a couple of those pieces. So it's going to be a dogfight, but I definitely got us coming out on top.
Yeah, definitely it's going to be interesting to see. Let's talk about the next game. Senators versus Death Row. I don't know. Senators.
Senators got to come kind of had to have a good week because they lost, surprisingly, to Old Times and kind of got whooped. But I believe Death Row is going to come out on top because I believe Death Row, that win against Warriors is going to springboard them to a lot better season than they've been having.
Yeah. I don't know. That's another one I think it might be a toss-up to me. And then we got Bandits versus Venom. I mean, if Venom needs to put up a lot of points to get into the tournament, so they can't allow
and
any.
who they go against? I'm sorry, who?
Bandits. So that can go either way. Roster's a lot.
Remember we said toss-up with Intoxicated? Can we go back to that kind of – it's a toss-up. I think it's a toss-up.
It is. And then we got New Wave versus 4TF. You guys got the doubleheader as well.
I'm gonna let John speak on this one.
Of course, I'm going forward. You all the way. End of story. There is no question to it. And I say that just because, like I said, the defense is definitely balling out. The offense getting it together, limit the mistakes. But that's how I'm looking at that. And New Wave gonna do their thing. But if they show up, cool, come on. But Forrest goes, we definitely taking it. Definitely taking this. But I am real high. I ate like 3 edibles, y'all. So forgive me.
Damn, Josh.
Hey, on my soul, boy, y'all crazy. No, but we definitely taking it though. Because we just go have to handle business. This our year. When we lost in Florida, that was a different taste, but it's definitely different now. And it's a grind. So they just in the way right now.
Yeah.
I
You know,
feel
this week is what like a lot of people like to call 4TF New Wave Week. As you can tell by the board and you can tell by social media, it gets a lot of people going. You know, the juice is going. Dom likes to talk. We like to talk. JD running his mouth. Dez running his mouth. I mean, we love it, right? It brings everything. This is kind of what we kind of look forward to. I know these teams. It's early now. We're going to be seeing each other twice this year. And that's not even including if that we're possibly going to see them in a tournament coming up here soon. So it's going to be a fun game. This is the game that I think is the game of the week. For sure, it's the game of the week because, like I said, we handled business in that first game. This game comes down to a very important game between the kind of the rivalry between New Wave and 4TF. It's going to be a fun one. I'm not really going to stir the pot today too much because we have a couple days still to go, and it's going to get.
we got to get.
It's
Well,
gonna
I mean,
get.
that's
It's
something
gonna
that
get
we
good,
can.
bro.
That's something
It's
we
gonna
can
get
talk
good.
about, which we're going to talk about in a second. We can add on where you can tune in and hear more about that prior to the game happening. Let's get into the next game because we got to start getting through some things and then wrap it up for the night. We got Dinos versus Not Perfect. I think that's a toss up. Both teams have been playing very hard, play good. I guess we're just going to see who wins that one. And then you got
Yeah.
Venom, who has a double header due to Black Mambas being out. So you have Wild Boys versus Venom. I think it's gonna be a good game. I mean, they're coming out that doubleheader. Mike, how you feeling about that?
Yeah, we got a script. We're ready to go. We're going to be putting up points this time. We're not going to be missing out in the red zone. So we're looking to score 3-4 touchdowns.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens because I'm definitely interested to see the final score of that game, especially
And
coming out
that game is Wild Boys versus who? I'm sorry.
Venom, who has the
Venom.
doubleheader.
I got Wild Boys, and yeah, I'm sorry, Venom's.
And then you got Menergy and Only Hands at the last slot. I think that
I'm going Menergy.
Menergy. No. Yes. 3 personal fouls. 2 jacks up is going to cry. What the hell is that about? I don't know. Dude, I can't with these comments today. Like,
I'm surprised Mark didn't get on here. I really wanted to talk to Mark about the loss.
well, we got some stuff we got to talk about real quick. Let's talk about one of the bigger news that we got going on this week is the All-Star Draft happens this Sunday at Sneaker Sports Bar Grill at 3:30. Your All-Star captains have been pointed out for us. They'll be drafting their teams. How do you know if you're eligible? By you clicking your waiver form and saying, hey, I want to potentially be a player. If you say no, then you're not on that list. Pretty much they're going to draft you. We have the captains get to pick which color jersey they want for each level. So each team will have 30 players. We got two captains per team. We're going to go live at the bar as well. But you guys can come out, hang out with us, participate in it. We'll have some more stats. We'll have everything collected that we're getting throughout week 3 and maybe week 4, depending if they can get it to the bar in time. And we're going to be talking about the in-season tournament as well as the All-Star Draft. So if you want to come on the show, talk some at the bar, come to Sneaker Sports Bar and Grill at 3:30. Jeremy won't be there with us. We have Dez filling in as our co-host for that event. Unfortunately, Jeremy got prior duties. But speaking of Jeremy, he'll be live with us on the sideline. Some for pre-great game talks, talking with some players along the sideline, like how we went on with Murder Mac this past week,
which
which
was
was an
awesome, by the
it
way.
was an
Murder Mac
interesting
was awesome.
experience. I think it's something that it's nice to get a part of the game on the field. I know we would love to have that better angle for the camera with the box being a little higher. So I'm definitely hoping that they do. That's the next upgrade that they do at Melrose is the box to get that better camera angle. But the fact that we were able to get that camera angle and then the sideline, it's going to be fun for the in-season tournament. I'll say the least. We're going to be in the field in the action. We got the microphones. It's going to be a blast. I know that Ricky's already excited about it. Shout out Field Action Media, even though he's been trolling me half the time in the comments. But man, it's going to be a good experience there. And then as well as let's talk about our second biggest, the last biggest one I promised of the night is our youth. The youth has been officialized on Sundays from 2:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. 5v5, it's 175 per child. You get a jersey and belts included. We're going to do 5 weeks for our spring season at Melrose Park, Serpico Field. We got Reggie and Jared taking lead as our directors. 5 weeks, 17 guaranteed games. That's 2 doubleheaders each week. All right, we're going to have age groups from 6U all the way up until high school. So it's going to be definitely exciting. We got a lot of people that want to be a part of it and want to help grow that. And hopefully our goal is to have a youth travel team for NF. Because they will be here in Chicago with June for the AFFL, and we're planning to go hopefully to a couple other tournaments with that. So it's definitely exciting to see that the youth team's going to be out there starting in April. So towards the end of those games, that's why we have that gap so that enough of the adult can clear out so the youth can come right on in, and we can have a great. Besides that, does anyone else have any questions in the comments they want to say before we kind of end off our show? I know that we kind of went a little longer, kind of went over, but we'll come back live on the field.
So just before we leave here, so the 4 teams that are in the tournament for Elite are Comp and Rec. I want to know the 4 teams since we kind of know that, don't we? Or are we still kind of
some spots are not final?
Okay, so what teams do we have in? I think is Elite final.
Hold on. I don't think so. I think Elite. Hammer can make it in. If Hammer wins, looks like Hammer wins or loses, they'll be in. So it's really Phantoms can potentially make their way in if they get enough bigger point differential. Because right now Phantoms are sitting at -17 and 1-1, where Hammer's sitting at 2-1.
Where's the other ones? Who's all in for sure?
Well, we'll talk about that more on Sunday morning. How about that? We'll have that final detail so we can get into the exclusive on the field.
Oh man, that? I want to know who's in, who's not.
Go look at the standings. It's
put the standings up right here. I'll tell you right now. You put the standings up. I'll show you. I'll look at it. We can do this all together here, all at once.
Well, because I got to look at the games.
Okay.
I got to look at the games because I don't know. It's because this damn thing hasn't been updating properly lately. So this is what it looks like for Elite right now. So Dinos are out. Phantoms are 1-1. If they go 3-1, so they really have to not let up any points and score a bunch. Hammer's at +20. Reapers are at -4. So Forte has pretty much in it. Scores a shit ton of points, and so does Phantoms. Because it's based on the first 4 games only.
Yeah, Phantoms
Reapers are stuck at -17. Because that means Reapers are stuck at -4 for the in-season tournament.
Jesus, damn.
And then for Comp, you're looking at next level is going to be in it. It's really
Dirty Birds. Wow.
Comp's, so it can go any way.
Death Row can throw their name in that hat, and so can kind of old times, right? Nah, not really, but Death Row is
No,
right
Death
there.
Row could. I think.
Yeah,
It really depends on how these games end up, because the point differential they're going to hit
yeah.
and the net points. So it's interesting there. And then
So Comp can really have a shakeup here coming in.
yeah, and we can talk about that on silent too and see what's going on in the other fields. So as you see in Rec, you got the top three teams 3-0, and then you got the right there. And Black Mambas won't have another game because they're done. So Venom is really the only one. Caught Looking has to score a lot of points.
Yeah,
And Bandits and Menergy, I guess, can kind of sneak up in there. If you really think, if they don't let up any points and put up an amount of points, no, they would
yeah,
have to. I mean, they would have to slot, and these guys would have to get blown out.
right.
So Bandits blows out. I forgot. Venom Militia. No,
Yeah.
they play Venom.
Damn. So Venom. Wow. You're right. Venom can sneak in there, which is crazy, but they
Venom can
can't.
sneak in there, or they can let someone sneak in potentially
Oh
if
wow.
they get blown up.
Damn, that's crazy.
So it can really go either way.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to see this next week. We'll see what happens.
Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up, and it's been a great show. Appreciate everyone tuning in. And I'll see some of you in person. We'll have some conversations.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's definitely going to be exciting. Appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Thank you, and good luck.